Hey guys, today we will be talking about the topic that I am extremely passionate about, and this is our self-esteem. Your self-esteem, my self-esteem, and the importance of us understanding how incredibly important that is for us to check in with where our self-esteem is at. So I bring notes because I thought it's incredibly important to bring this message to the world, and I know that it is nothing new that I'm going to be talking about today. Today I'm not channeling. Today I'm pretty much teaching. I wrote down some notes over here, and I will pull a few. I'll pull a few messages that you need to. Oh, damn. Okay. That I think you could benefit from, but rather than that, if you're here for channeled messages, this is not it. But don't rush away from this message, because you can definitely benefit. You can definitely benefit from the topic we're going to be discussing. Well, I'm going to have a monologue, but I hope that you will participate in the discussion of how the message resonates with you. So I wrote it. It's like a little bit messy, but I'll try to structure it. So the first one will be, you want to change your life, start seeing yourself differently. And it's part of the same message with different wordings, and I'm going to expand on that, but I just wanted to read it to you because it is kind of cool. You need to accept yourself, and then validation will not be needed. Again, you need to accept yourself, and then you won't need any validation, any external validation from anybody, because you will finally know that you are an amazing being who doesn't need anybody to approve you, who doesn't need anybody to say, oh yeah, you are smart, oh yeah, you are capable, oh yes, you are talented, oh yes, you're beautiful, and so on and so forth. And I made a note over here that in order for you to accept fully yourself, you need to understand yourself first. So this is what I'm going to be talking about, okay? I just wanted to read you a few like pointers that I'm going to be touching upon, okay? Yes, it is about your inner story. You know, it is about the inner story. And there is also something that I wrote down from a workshop that I attended. Something familiar doesn't mean that it has to be your story going forward. And yeah, allow yourself to be vulnerable. Allow yourself to accept yourself the way that you are. The good, the bad, and the in between. All right. So let's talk a little bit about if you want to change your life, you need to start seeing yourself differently. Okay. And what I mean by that is, when you have a certain image about who you are based on the labels that have been put on you, we all have or had like many of those labels, put upon us by someone, by pretty much everybody in our life. Because if you think about it, every single person that you have ever encountered has a different label about how they see you. But my point here is that I'm trying to bring to everyone's attention is that the moment you stop believing that you are the story, that you are a label that is not even yours, and you start recognizing the fact that you have lost your way and you don't even know who you are because you got lost in those stories that have been told about who you are by your family, by your friends, by your romantic relationships, by your school, the society, the friendship groups, anything, right? Like anything that you've been surrounded by created a story that you started believing about who you truly are. And this is the time for you to start believing a better belief about yourself, for you to start You know how they show it sometimes on those memes on social media or internet in general, how a cat looks in the mirror and sees a lion. So this is what you need to see, because what is happening right now, you are a lion who sees a cat in the reflection of the mirror. So you need to swap the images. You know what I mean? You need to see yourself as this beautiful divine being, which you are, who doesn't need to be validated by anybody, who doesn't need anyone's approval for anything. What you need to understand, guys, is that until you accept yourself fully, and again, I will repeat that, until you accept yourself fully, you will keep relying on external validation from people, quite often wrong people, because subconsciously you put those people on a pedestal because you see the qualities in them that you think you don't possess, which is not true. Think about it. Very often we put people on pedestal simply based on the fact that we believe that they possess qualities, accomplishments, or the way of being, the way they carry themselves, that we think we never can ever embody, or we cannot ever be that kind of personality that they are, but we want to be. You know what I mean? And quite often we put those people on pedestal for no reason. Just because we are not allowing ourselves to embrace the qualities that they are fully on embodying and exhibiting. But let me tell you this, before you can accept yourself, again, I will repeat, you need to understand yourself first. So it took me a while because, again, a commercial comes in mind, not the very, I don't like that commercial, but the image of that commercial, when a person, kind of like a figure of a person is just covered all over their body with the post-it notes that you cannot see the person, the post-it notes everywhere with the notes, right? Oh, even what a better analogy comes in mind, where was it? Bruce Almighty. I think it was from Bruce Almighty, where, he got all the prayers, right? And he tried to structurize it and create a filing system. And then he ended up having all those post-it notes everywhere, and he got covered entirely in them too. So this is what I see in my mind's eye. Those labels that have been put on you, on me, that to a point, there have been so many labels put upon us that we completely got lost, and we could not see ourselves in those labels because we got lost in those post-it notes, basically, of the opinions, of the labels, of the perception of other people, of us, that to a point where we started believing all those labels, then we didn't even know who we are, because it was somewhere underneath, deep under those labels that have been stick everywhere on us. Whoops. So the first thing that you need to do on this journey to self-acceptance, you first need to understand actually who you are. You truly need to understand. You need to spend some time with yourself. You need to spend some time alone with yourself, without distractions, without running away from it, without the noise of people, of gadgets, of places, just because you're scared of being alone with yourself, and diving deep into the waters of who you truly are. And there will be a moment when you will realize all the labels that have been labeled, that have been hanged on you, basically, or did somebody stick it on you, post-it note on you, let's call it that. They're not true. They're not true. They are not true. Let me share my experience, slightly, just for the sake of example, because my entire life, truly, until couple of years ago, my entire life, I was made believe that I have a difficult character, which is a very, very common phrase back in the country that I'm from, in the language that I speak. It's a very, very common phrase when, let's say, a child is exhibiting certain behaviors, the parents rush into, I hear it up until now, it makes me like mad. They use this phrase, oh, this kid has such a difficult character. And I'm like, never say that. Not only to a kid, not even around the kid, because children listen everything. Even if you don't think they are paying attention, they're paying attention to everything, and they record it and they start believing it about themselves. What in reality happened is that my family could not handle my emotional needs because they were not at the capacity, and I'm not blaming anybody for absolutely anything. That is like a healed wound over there. But I'm just simply stating facts that I finally, like when I stepped in my healing journey to understanding like what is beneath the surface, like what is going on, I realized that the labels that have been put on me, labeling me as a difficult person, not only difficult child, but difficult person, is because no one in my family was emotionally available to begin with. And then they didn't have emotional intelligence to understand that I have different emotional needs than them. So they couldn't tend to them. And it was easier to label me as being difficult, as having a difficult character, as being like whatever. Because I was not a spoiled kid. I was not even close to be a spoiled kid. I was just having, I was more sensitive. I was more emotionally in tune. And I was, did I say sensitive? Yes. And I was always like diving deep emotionally. And my family simply was not at the same wavelength as I was. They just couldn't go as deep as I was, like since I was a kid. And because they couldn't handle it, like they would label me this, that I'm being difficult. And only in my adulthood, there was one person who was always saying like, oh, you're such a beautiful being. And I'm like, oh, you're just saying it to be nice. Until I actually stopped for a moment and started like being curious about those statements, wondering why would that person say this? They're not gaining anything from me. They are not benefiting anything from saying that. They're not getting anything in return rather than my kindness, which I was already kind to them regardless. And that got me thinking, what if maybe, just maybe, that was a story that I believed when I was a child, which is not true. And I started developing a curiosity around that story that was engraved in me for so many years. And I'm telling you, until you start showing some curiosity to yourself, you put so much effort in trying to understand your partner, and trying to understand your friends, and trying to being like, oh, look at me, I'm pretty sure that I'm talking with a lot of people pleasers. I know exactly what I'm talking about because I am a former people pleaser. I know exactly what I'm talking about. And what I want to say, like the effort that you put into getting to know another human being, put that effort into getting to know you, rediscover you. Who are you truly? Not what you were made believe that you are, not who you think you are, but who you truly are, who you are feeling inside, this deeper knowing of who you truly are. Until you do that, until you actually find that path, that road back to yourself, to your true self, not the mask, not the role, not the persona that you've been playing your entire life, not the character, not the role that you thought that you need to play, but you with all the qualities of yours. The good qualities, the not so, I cannot call them not good, just not so pleasant to others qualities. We all have those qualities. We can be annoying, we can be irritating to some people, and so what? Accept it. Accept the dark side of you as much as you accept the light side of you, the shiny side of you. How about that? Because until you come to full acceptance of who you truly are, you will not be able, until you find the way to who you truly are, you will not be able to find the full acceptance of yourself. I'll repeat it so it just settles down. Until you discover who you truly are, you will not be fully able to accept yourself, because who are you actually accepting if you're still wearing a mask? You're accepting a persona. You're not accepting yourself, you're accepting a persona, a mask. This is my way of mask. So what I wanted to say to you guys today is that until you find the way to discover, to rediscover your true personality, true self, who you truly are, work on accepting who you truly are. Until you do that, you will always rely on external validation, needing that external validation from others, needing that approval of your ideas, of your dreams, of pretty much anything, even your looks. You will need validation and approval of others, whether it's your romantic partner, whether it's your friends, whether it's just someone you like at work or whatever, even at work. So, I want to touch base on that note that I wrote down. Like, something familiar doesn't mean it has to be your story going forward. Just because that a feeling inside of you feels familiar, because you're familiar with the story, right? Like with the patterns of your life, it doesn't mean that you have to live through that story and through that familiarity that you've been accustomed through your life, right? It doesn't mean that you need to live your life, like entire life like this. There is a moment when you will say, you know what? No, I'm not subscribing to that story anymore. I love you, my parents. I love you, my friends. I love you, my whatever, whoever. But I'm not subscribing to the story, to the labels that have been posted on me, because it's not who I am. It is not who I am. And here is where like healthy boundaries can kick in place. Like, oh, there is a whole journey over there. But I'm telling you guys, allow yourself to be vulnerable with yourself to begin with. Because as it turns out to be, a lot of people don't allow themselves to be vulnerable with even themselves. I'm not even speaking about other people. I'm talking about sitting alone in the room and being vulnerable with your own self. A lot of people cannot even do that, which was a big shock to me. But apparently it is a huge chunk of people who cannot open their heart to themselves because they're scared of what they're going to discover there. Because they're scared that all the like compressed and suppressed pain and feelings will come bubbling up to the surface. But this is exactly what needs to be done. If you want to live a better life, if you want to change your life, you need to start, everyone needs to start seeing themselves differently. Start believing better thoughts about yourself. Start believing better thoughts, better beliefs about what you can have, who you can be with. And let me tell you this, because very often it's like the programming that have been, again, especially when you start doing the inner work and you start having higher standards, raising the bar, right? And someone who is still unhealed in your surrounding, in your close circle, like family or friends, they will be like, oh, you're delusional. Why do you think, are you crazy to believe that you can attract that kind of romantic partner? Are you crazy? Like, who do you think you are to think that you can make this and that much money? Just stay in your lane, lady or gentleman, and live like the rest of them, right? Because people in your surrounding who are not willing to grow, they will try to put you down because they're not comfortable that you started to see yourself higher, not higher than them. It's not about looking down on anybody. It's not about that. It's that you started to seeing your true value. And that's why very often when you go through self-development journey, through healing journeys, through spiritual awakening, a lot of times you purge a lot of people from your life, even family members sometimes. But a lot of friends who don't want to grow, who are not willing to grow with you and be at the same frequency as you are vibrating, like they stay low and you guys are not a match. And very often those friends are left behind. It is painful, it is sad, but it is the reality, because unless you do that, you will keep staying in the same places with the same people who will drag you back down, because misery loves company. Anyway, guys, let me put, what is this? Okay, I'll probably. So if you see a card named Dawn, that's for me. It's not for you. That's my spirit, guys. Okay, Spirit, what would you like this collective to know? What would you like them to focus on right now? Because I wrote down a few messages there. Trust, flow. Okay, one card, show us flow again. So this is something that you need to know, that I see you. This is a message from God, creation, all that is, that in your journey, you are never alone. And maybe by I see you, you need to understand that if you are curious of where to begin, how do I begin the journey back to myself? Where do I begin, right? And you don't even know, you haven't yet started to recognize the synchronicities in the form of messages through YouTube, through billboards, through books, podcasts, recommendations, people entering your life. These are all synchronicities, and you haven't yet tuned into understanding what they actually are. Speak to God, speak to Creator. Speak to all that is, creation, God, universe, whatever you resonate with. Pray. Or just have a conversation as you would have like a conversation with a parent, with a good parent, with a caring parent. And if you are someone who didn't have good and caring parents, God is always there for you as your ultimate parent, creation, as your mother, Creator as your father. So ask for guidance, ask for help, and ask and say, please help me find the way back to myself. I am willing to do the work. I want to live a better life. I want to find the way back to myself. Okay? Be with the flow, guys. The flow wanted to come out twice. Be with the flow of life. Don't resist. Don't resist the events. Don't resist people leaving. Don't resist people. You know what comes to my mind? Like the dating world. It's very It's very lively topic for me right now, and if you're, let's say you've met someone and you kind of like them per se, and they didn't call you back, let them not call you back, because this is you trusting the universe, trusting the rejection is protection and redirection you towards the right person. Flow with the well-being of God, creation, universe, source, all that is. Flow. You need to be in flow and understanding that if somebody that you so-called liked on the date one who is not calling you, or who is not, having the decency to even tell, hey, you know what, I don't think that this is gonna work, or whatever, they just ghost. In itself, in the silence, there is messaging to you that they're not interested. So stop resisting. Stop, maybe like you wanted to message them, or you did message them, or you did call them and being like, hey, we should hang out again, or hey, why you didn't call me, blah, blah, blah. No, if someone is not calling you back, especially if you're a female and he is a male, or if there is a dynamic between feminine and masculine energies, their gender doesn't really matter in that case, as long as someone embodies feminine energy more, someone embodies masculine energies more. That's what matters here. Yeah, ask for help, guys. This one wanted to come out twice. Ask for help. Again, remember how I mentioned pray, speak to God, ask for guidance, and guidance will be revealed to you. But you need to keep your eyes, your ears, and your heart open to seeing that guidance, because if you're expecting that one day like an angel will flow onto your balcony or like through your window and being like, all right, I'm here, I'm listening, this is what you need to do, and here is the to-do list inside by the feather and the sprinkles all over, well, you're going to be waiting a very long time. Let me tell you this. So if you ask for help from the divine, you need to keep your energy field open to recognizing the guidance. So let's say you ask for help, and I don't know, a day or a week later, someone at your work comes and being like, hey guys, you know what, like there is this book that I was like, oh my God, it's an amazing book. And just listen to your body. How does your body react to that recommendation? Or you're just browsing, oh, I'm having goosebumps. Or you're just browsing on the internet, like on whatever, Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, and then there is something that just like strikes your attention, that either like a thumbnail that like strikes you, or be like, interesting, like why am I feeling so pulled to that? Listen to that pull. This is your intuition, like this is your intuition guiding you. This is God guiding you through your intuition. This is your higher self guiding you to give it a listen. There is something in there for you, but always like listen how your body reacts. Okay, this is what means being in the flow and trusting. Yeah, guys, again, ask for help when it's to come out. Ask for help, guys, and God tells you that you're loved. I love you. God is telling you that he or she, creator, creation, loves you. This is what you need to know, okay? This is this beautiful parent who tells you, like, come. Ask for help. Ask for refuge. Ask for advice. Ask for guidance. Ask for help, and help will be given to you. Very often help comes in so many ways. And if you specifically ask for physical help, let's say, like if you truly ask for physical help, like for someone for God, for creation to send you, like, send me help, like because you're physically tired, very often it will come in the form of another human being offering you physical help. If you're moving, if you maybe you need your baby, maybe you need a babysitter, like anything, to a point. Like, what happened to me is, like, I asked for help because I was like, oh, I need help, I'm so like exhausted, I'm so tired. And you know what happened? That is like the last thing that I could have ever even imagined, that will be the form that God, creation, sent me help as. I asked for help and I removed any expectations, and I was just like, okay, I trust and I know that help is coming. I don't know when, and I didn't have that expectation, right? And I think a day or two later, after I asked for help, my best friend, out of the blue, like calling or messaging me and being like, hey, are you home? I need your car keys. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. And I'm like, oh, okay. And my friend saw my car, my car was a mess inside at that time. And I was just like not in the state of physical being to do like detailing at that time. And my friend just called and said, hey, I like blah, 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 you're home. I need your keys. And I was just like, I started to suspect like something about my friend, I don't know, either washing my car on the outside or washing, but I didn't even expect what happened, because my friend washed my car on the inside and on the outside. And I was just like, wow, nobody ever did that for me like that. Nobody ever, like nobody ever just did that. I was like speechless. And I was like, oh my, and in that moment I knew exactly that my prayer was answered in that form. That because I didn't have energy to clean my car, and I like things clean and I appreciate things clean. I like things to be clean. I like aesthetically pleasing things. I love everything to be like an eye candy, basically. And my car wasn't an eye candy at that time. And it was stressing me out. It was like stressing me out. So ask for help and surrender this card when it's come out many times, as I just didn't want to interrupt myself. But surrender to how. Surrender the how. Surrender the how it's going to come to you, okay? Whatever you're asking about, don't have any expectations. And the flow is just showed his face again. Don't have any expectation on how it's going to come to you. Oh, it's not flow, it's allow. There you go. Sorry. It's allow. Okay, guys, my phone keeps running out of storage, so I'm going to wrap it up because I was about to wrap up anyway. So before it happens again, I wanted to say, to summarize this message, where's my notes? Oh my God. Okay. Okay, I will summarize it, all right? That step number 1, come back to who you truly are. Find the way back to who you truly are. And a massive help in finding the way back to who you truly are is asking for help from the divine. And trust me, the help will come. You just need to surrender to this flow of how it's going to come to you, and just trust that it is coming. And all you need to do is not control the how. All you need to do, what is your responsibility, is just like have your heart open, listen to your intuition, and have your eyes and ears. You have eyes to see, you have ears, you have ears to hear, so hear and see. Have your heart open, listen to your intuition, and the right guidance, the right resources, they will find you. So you don't need to push or force anything. All you need to do is like keep your energy field open, your heart open, by being vulnerable, by allowing yourself to be vulnerable with yourself, and by allowing yourself to be vulnerable in the eyes of creation, and asking for help. And help will come, and you will find the way back to who you truly are. All masks removed, all personas destroyed, all personalities that you had to wear, just recycle. Put them in garbage, put them in recycling, whatever. Not recycling even, garbage, shredder. Compost, there you go, compost. Put those personalities in compost to bring goodness to earth. Anyway, I'm joking, but I'm not. So step number one is you finding your way back to your who you truly are. And from there, from this moment of, oh my God, this is me. Oh my God, I see myself for who I truly am, finally. And then working your way to accepting yourself. All the qualities, all the good qualities, all the so-called not good qualities. Every single piece and bit of you, every single cell, every single everything coming to this full acceptance, not only of your personality, but also of your physical body. And start loving yourself. Having this mirror talk every single day, I love you, in front of the mirror. And start seeing yourself differently, like this cat who looks in the mirror and sees a lion. So start seeing yourself as this beautiful, strong, powerful creature, which you are. Which you are. Not from a place of ego or inflated like ego. No, but truly knowing that you, today, maybe you are a cat, but the reflection of you is like who you are becoming. By accepting yourself, by not needing validation from people anymore, from anybody anymore, because you're so rooted in who you truly are that you don't care. You simply don't care what other people think of you, what other people give you labels, and just, they try to put this post-it note on you and you're like, get the fuck out of here. So anyway, guys, I hope that message resonated with you. I hope it was helpful and beneficial. And if you know somebody who can benefit from the message that I brought today, please feel free to share. Feel free to let me know in the comments what is your story, if you feel comfortable. And anyway, my intention is that message is helping as... I forgot what I wanted to say. My intention is that message is serving. There you go. It's late, guys. Sorry, it's late in the night and I wanted to bring that message to you, but my mind is like, I am going to go to sleep right now. It's late. But my intention is to bring value to you guys. My intention is to bring healing to as many people as possible, so people can transform their lives and live a beautiful, 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 happy, wonderful, joyful life of self-acceptance, of self-worth, of knowing self-worth and knowing that you are enough, and knowing that you're never alone, that you're loved by the divine, you're loved by God, by Creator, by all that is, and that you're supported always. Okay, no matter what experience you're going through, you are always supported. So if you feel like you are a little bit like stuck, ask for help. Ask for help, and help will come in forms that you would never, ever, ever expect. So again, keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, keep your heart open, and tune in into your intuition. So your third eye chakra needs a little bit maybe work on to open up, so you can start listening the whispers of your intuition, of your inner knowing, and trust them. Okay, so flow with the life, flow with the flow of well-being, of creation. And anyway, guys, I'll see you next time. I hope that message resonated, and I wish you all the best and many, many blessings to all. And I'll see you next time. Bye.